Okay, ready for the second video? Here we go. Please turn to page 35. Okay, here we go. By the end of the lesson, you'll understand that equivalent numbers can be represented as decimals, percents, and fractions. Okay, we went through that. Ready? Let's go to introduction, which is the middle of page 35. One of the most important issues in the world today is climate change. Climate change is the change in the distribution of weather patterns across the globe due to increased concentrations of carbon dioxide and other heat-trapping gases in the atmosphere. Let's begin with a question related to climate change. How has the amount of ice in the Arctic Ocean changed over the past 40 years? Climatologists track a variety of climate indicators to assess the impact of climate change. One such indicator is the portion of the Arctic Sea that is covered by ice at different parts throughout the year. Okay? This is called the Arctic Sea Ice Extent and is measured in millions of square kilometers. So already underline would be the last paragraph, second line down. Underline one such indicator is the portion of the Arctic Sea that is covered by ice at different parts throughout the year. And that's called the Arctic Sea Ice Extent. Underline that, okay? Now, climatologists use satellite imagery to estimate these values. Sea ice is important as it serves as the habitat for animals in the Arctic region. You could underline that. That's always interesting to know. And helps regulate the climate of the Earth. It also stores water that would otherwise contribute to rising sea levels. Okay, let's turn the page. Now, some of this will involve mathematical computation. I'll try to tell you what to write. You'll do the best you can with it. And of course, on Thursday, when we meet again, I can show you the board work and everything else, but try to work with it on your own a little bit, okay? Let's look at page 36. It says, remember, Arctic sea ice extent is the amount covered by ice. Ready? The graph below shows the monthly Arctic sea ice extent during the months of January, June, and September, each year from 1979 to 2017. Number 1. What does the graph tell us about how the Arctic sea ice extent has changed during the time period from 1979 to 2017? So if you look yourself, they talk about specific months, January, June, and September, okay? What do you notice? If you look at the curve, look at it, you'll notice the Arctic sea ice extent in the months of January, June, and September is decreasing over time. If you notice, the graphs do go down. So that would be the answer for number 1, that the Arctic sea ice extent in, and list the months they show you, January, June, and September, is decreasing over time. Now, number 2 says, what could explain why the Arctic sea ice extent is consistently smaller in September than in January? Well, just so it makes sense to you, you know that during the summer months, right, there's warmer temperatures, and that would account for it, okay? So you might say something like this. You can say the Arctic Sea is in the northern hemisphere. So the Arctic Sea ice extent increases over the winter months due to freezing temperatures. It decreases over the summer months each year due to warmer temperatures. Okay? So when we see each other again, if you want me to discuss that a little further, we can. But this is basically what the reason would be for question 2 on page 36. Now, I'm going to guide you. I'm not going to give you all of the answer. I'm going to guide you. And I want you to try to do a little bit of your own. Okay? So let's look at page 37 now. Number 3. 3A. It says, what percent of the January 2010 ice extent is a September 2010 ice extent? First, write your answer as a fraction. So what they want, this is what they want. They want September 2010 over January 2010 as a fraction. Okay, so watch. September 2010, look at your chart, is 4.87. Your January 2010 is 13.74. So your fraction in 3A will be 4.87 over 13.74. Okay, so 4.87 over 1374. That's your answer for A. Now I'm going to let you do B and C. Divide it out, get your decimal. That's the answer for B. Change your decimal, move your decimal point 2 to the right, put a percent sign. That is your answer for C. Okay? And for D, I'm going to help you use the words when we meet again on Thursday. Okay? So A, I gave you the fraction. Change it for B to a decimal and C to a percent. And D, you're going to wait for me. Okay? Number 4. What percent of the January 2013 ice extent is a September 2013 ice extent? So they want September 2013 over January 2013. So you look at the chart, as I do, and look at the number for September 2013. If you notice, it's 5.21. January 2013 is 13.70. So your fraction for 4A on page 37 is going to be 5.21 over 13.70. Okay, that's your fraction for A. For B, divide it out. Get me the decimal, round to 2 places. Take that decimal, move 2 to the right, and give me the percent form in C. Okay, and in D, I'm going to help you put it into words when we meet again on Thursday. Okay, please turn the page. Let's go to page 38. Page 38 says, number 5. What percent of the January 2017 ice extent is a September 2017 ice extent? So ready? They want September 2017 over January 2017. So you look with me. September 2017 is 4.80 over. What's January 2017? You look at it. It's 13.17. Hopefully you'll match my numbers. So 4.80 over 13.17. That's 5A. Okay? For B, divide it out. Get your decimal round to 2 places. And for C, change that decimal to a percent. And again, for D, I will help you interpret that as a sentence. Okay? Let's keep going. I'm going to help you with number 6 when we meet, and number 7 as well. Okay, let's keep going. So you don't have to do 6 and 7 on page 38 this moment. Okay, let's turn the page. I'm going to go to page 39. It says the table below displays Arctic sea ice extent values 1979, 2000, and 2017. Let's look at number 8. What percent of the January 1979 ice extent is the January 2000 ice extent? So they want January 2000 over January 1979. Got it? January 2000 over, that goes on the top, over January 1979. If you look at your chart, January 2000 is 14.22. That's your top number over. January 1979 is 15.41. So your fraction for 8A on page 39, 14.2 divided by 15.41. For B, get your decimal, divide it out. For C, get your percent. Number 9. What percent of the January 2000 ice extent is the January 2017 ice extent? So they want, for number 9A on page 39, they want January 2017 over January 2000. Can you find those numbers? I'll wait a minute. Okay. If you're correct, you should have 13.17. That's January 2017 over January 2000, which is 14.22. So for 9A, 13.17 over 14.22. Divide it out. Get a decimal. Round your decimal to 2 places. For B, and in C, write it as a percent. Okay, on page 40. I will help you with the remaining questions on page 40 for D when we meet again on Thursday. Okay, one last one. Page 41, please. Page 41, please. It says next steps. Now let's examine a different question. Do people in countries throughout the world have differing views about the seriousness of global climate change. In 2015, adults throughout the world were asked whether or not global climate change posed a very serious problem to the world. The data in the table below are similar to the survey results from a random sample of adults from 5 countries. Look at the countries: Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, Nigeria. Now, the agree column is first. How many people out of the survey agreed that yes, climate change is a problem to the world? In the third column, first is the country for the first column. Second column is agree. Third column is disagree, those who felt there was not a serious problem, and the percent who agree. Ready? So you have to fill out in number 12, page 41, number 12, the last column, percent who agree. Australia, 645 over, what's my total? You total 645 plus 855, and you can get 1,500. So the percent who agree would be 645 over 1,500. You'll divide that out, get me a decimal and a percent. Brazil, 1118 over. Add 1118 and 182, and you get 1,300. So the percent who agree for Brazil would be 1118 divided by 1,300. Divide it out, get a percent. Agree for Canada, 632 over your total of 632 plus 608 is 1240. So Canada is 632 divided by 1240. Divide it out, get a decimal and a percent. China, 243 over. Add 243 and 1107, you get 1350. So you got 243 over 1350, gives you a percent. Nigeria, 580 over. 580 plus 370 is 950. So for Nigeria, it's 580 over 950, give me a percent. Okay? So the last part, I want you to just answer these questions. It says for number 13, which country has the least concern about the global climate change? Find me the country that has the smallest percent of agreement, right? 14, which country has the greatest concern? Find me the highest percentage of agreement that climate change poses a serious problem. 15 says if a sample of 100,000 adults in Canada are chosen, how many would you expect to believe that global climate change is a very serious problem? You'll do 100,000 times the percent in Canada who agree that it's a problem. And you find the percent from your chart in number 12. And number 16 says if a sample of 2 million adults in Nigeria are chosen, how many would you expect to believe that global climate change is a serious problem? Again, you do 2 million times a percent in Nigeria that you found from the chart above who agree that climate change is a serious problem. Okay? So you have some work to do. You have your fractions, which I initially helped to give you. What I want you to do is look over the numbers that we chose for the fractions and see where in the chart I got them from. I want you to look at the words and see how I transpose those words into the actual fractions. Then I want you to actually do the work, divide out your fractions, get your equivalent decimals, change your decimals to percent, round to 2 places as they show as necessary, and get your answers. Okay? If this seems a little bit difficult to you, don't worry about it. Do the best you can. When we meet again on Thursday, I will go through it and I will check answers with you and help you determine what the proper answers are. Okay? In the meantime, please read the sections that we went through. Read them slowly, take your time, and spend time to answer the questions as you would on your own. Okay? So I wish you well. This is the end of the second lecture, okay, which accounts for Wednesday, and I will see you on Thursday. Okay, Thursday, regular time. We'll meet again live on Zoom, okay, and we'll go through the sections that we just talked about in the workbook. We'll make sure you have the correct answers, and more important, we'll make sure you understand why the answers are correct. Okay, take care. Have a wonderful day. See you Thursday. Bye-bye.